When they ignore you, it hurts more than if they shouted in your face. Be honest for a second. How many times have you stared at seen and felt your dignity leak away? You watch them post stories for everyone else, and your mind starts writing paragraphs you'll never send just to prove you're not the problem. Here's the brutal truth. Every extra message is you begging for silence to choose you. This video is not here to help you win their attention back. It's here to help you win your self-respect back. In the next few minutes, you'll learn 3 Stoic rules for what to do when someone ignores you. And the third rule will make walking away feel clean, not bitter, without one last closure text. You tell yourself it's just a message, but your whole mood shifts when they don't answer. You check again and see they're online, posting, laughing, just not with you. So you start bargaining. Maybe I was too direct. Maybe I should send one more message to explain myself. And every time you do this, you step further away from your dignity just to stay close to their silence. At work, it looks different, but it feels the same. You show up early, stay late, and keep things running in the background. Your ideas land in the room, and then vanish. Someone else repeats what you said, and suddenly everyone hears it. You walk home replaying the meeting, thinking if you were better, they'd stop treating you as optional. In your personal life, the pattern is brutal. People who only remember you when they need a favor, a ride, or money. People who leave you on red for days, then reappear the moment they're lonely. You answer, you help, you stay understanding, while your own needs get quieter and smaller. And then there's the part nobody sees. You're lying awake at night, staring at the glow of your screen, feeling less like a person and more like furniture in everyone's life. Useful, available, invisible. The worst part is not their silence. It's how fast you turn their silence into a verdict on your worth. So here's the real question. How many more times will you keep shrinking yourself for people who can't send a single sentence back? The Stoics would say this isn't a problem of love. It's a problem of standards and what you've been willing to tolerate. When someone ignores you, it feels like proof that you're not enough. From a Stoic view, it's not proof of your lack of value. It's proof of where you've been dropping your standards and your control. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." In plain language, you don't control their reply. You only control how many times you abandon yourself to chase it. Your job is not to convince anyone to see you. Your job is to protect your inner citadel, so their silence can't decide your worth anymore. The mantra for this video is simple. I answer to my standards, not their silence. From this lens, we arrive at the first Stoic rule. Stop explaining yourself to people who communicate through distance. The first rule, stop jading with people who answer you with silence. When someone ignores you, your nervous system goes into panic mode. You start with jade. You justify, argue, defend, and explain, hoping the right paragraph will earn basic respect. Imagine you send a simple text. Hey, are we still on for tomorrow? No answer. So you stack messages. Maybe I said something wrong. I just wanted to check in. You turn their silence into a courtroom, and you keep defending yourself to a judge who never shows up. In practice, this first rule means one clear message: no chasing. You speak once, calmly and directly, and then you let their silence speak for them. For example, hey, just checking in about tomorrow. If I don't hear back, I'll assume it's off. That's it. No more essays. No more trying to prove you deserve a basic reply. They're not confused. They're comfortable with the distance. And every extra message teaches them one thing: you will keep paying for silence. So rule 1 stops the bleeding, but it doesn't fix the addiction. Because even if you stop texting, you can still keep giving. Attention, understanding, access. That's why the second rule matters. Not about what you say, about what you stop supplying. The second rule: withdraw surplus effort and rebuild your inner citadel. When someone ignores you, most people don't walk away. They double down. You give more chances, more availability, more understanding, hoping it will finally make you worth replying to. That extra energy you keep pouring in is surplus effort. You're doing more than your share and paying for it with anxiety and overthinking. Picture this. You always text first. You suggest the plans. You adjust your schedule around theirs. They canceled last minute. They reply when they feel like it. They disappear until they need emotional support again. When you pull back, they drop one small breadcrumb, just enough to keep you on the hook, never enough to truly show up. In practice, this rule means match their effort, then redirect your surplus to yourself. If they give 10%, you stop pouring 90%. You stop feeding a connection that only survives on your effort. You take that energy back to your inner citadel. You train your body. You build your life. You create forward motion that doesn't depend on a notification. Because the more you overgive to someone who ignores you, the more you teach them that your self-respect is negotiable. If this feels uncomfortably accurate, subscribe. We're building a place for calm people who are done begging for attention and ready to raise their standards instead. Now listen carefully. Rule 2 gives you your energy back, but energy without a decision still leaks, because they might return with warmth, with a breadcrumb, and then disappear again. So the third rule is the line that ends the cycle. Let silence be your answer, then walk away with dignity. The third rule: let silence be your answer, then walk away with dignity. Most people treat being ignored like an exam they have to pass. If I'm patient enough, they'll come back. If I'm nice enough, they'll finally choose me. That is how you slowly train people to see you as furniture, always there, never respected. The Stoic way is different. You don't treat being ignored as a challenge to fix. You treat it as information about where you stand. Imagine this. You followed Rule 1, one clear message, no chasing. You followed Rule 2, no more surplus effort, no more carrying the entire connection. And still the pattern repeats. Warm words, then long silence, attention, then withdrawal. At that point, you don't need a dramatic speech. You need one quiet decision. I will not stay where my presence is treated as optional. In practice, this rule means you choose distance over self-betrayal. Sometimes it sounds like one clean sentence. I value consistency, and I'm not getting that here, so I'm going to step back. Sometimes there is no announcement at all. You simply stop pouring attention into a space that never holds it with care. You take that same energy back into your own life, until their silence feels small compared to the direction you're walking in. You don't walk away to change them. You walk away to stop changing yourself for them. And once you understand that, the only question left is this: how do you actually start doing it in real life? In the next 24 hours and the next 7 days? Within the next 24 hours, do this once. Choose one situation where you feel ignored right now. Someone who has you on seen. Someone who disappears until they need something. First, apply Rule 1. Ask yourself, have I already explained myself enough here? If the answer is no, send one calm, clear message. Hey, I've noticed we haven't really been talking. If you want to connect, you know where to find me. If not, I'll step back and wish you well. Or, if it's about a plan, hey, just checking in about tomorrow. If I don't hear back, I'll assume it's off. Then stop. No follow-up. No essay. No, sorry for bothering you 10 minutes later. This is where most people break. They feel the urge to chase, and they call it caring. You are not doing that anymore. Next, apply Rule 2 to the same situation. Notice your surplus effort. How often do you text first? How much mental space do they occupy? Make one deal with yourself for the next 24 hours. All the energy I was about to spend chasing them, I will spend on my inner citadel instead. Move your body. Do one small action for your future self. Create proof that your life still moves forward. The point is not to pretend you don't care. The point is to care more about what you are building than about who isn't answering. Finally, apply Rule 3 with one honest question. If nothing changed and they stayed this distant for the next 6 months, would I still want to be this invested? If the answer is no, you already have your answer. Maybe you say, I value consistency, and I'm not getting that here, so I'm going to step back. Or maybe you say nothing. You just stop feeding attention into that space and start feeding your own life instead. That is your 24-hour practice. One situation, one clear message or decision. No chasing. Energy redirected back to you. Now stretch it over the next 7 days. For the next 7 days, the rule is simple. No double texting after silence. If they saw it and didn't reply, your side of the work is finished. Each time you feel the urge to send another message, take a breath and repeat the mantra, I answer to my standards, not their silence. Then do one small action for your inner citadel. 1 minute of movement, one honest line in your journal, one task that builds your future. 7 days of this will reveal 3 things: who only stayed because you carried the entire connection, how much time and energy were you giving away without noticing, and who you can become when you choose self-respect in small, repeatable ways. Because the more you act like someone who respects their standards, the more you become that person. This is the part no one can do for you. From the person who falls apart when someone ignores them, to the person who reads silence as information and adjusts their standards. From the person who writes essays to prove they're not the problem, to the person who says one clean sentence and lets the rest go. From the person who overgives to stay included, to the person who would rather walk alone than beg to be half seen. This is what self-respect looks like in real life. Not a quote on a screen, a decision inside your nervous system. You feel the sting, you feel the urge to chase, and you still choose dignity over attention. That is discipline. You stop checking your phone for proof and start checking your actions for alignment with your standards. That is quite powerful. You are no longer auditioning for a role in someone else's life. You are building a life so grounded that anyone who can't meet your standards moves themselves out of the frame. The next time you see "seen" under your message, you will still feel that pull. But instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" you ask a better question. Is this aligned with my standards? Or is it time to step back? That question separates the old you from the new you. So let's go back to that first moment. Your message has been sitting there for hours. No reply. Old, you would have written a novel, apologized for existing, and begged for clarity from someone who already chose silence. New, you takes a breath. You send one clear message if it's needed. You refuse to double text after being ignored. You take your energy back and put it into your own life. Here is the truth to carry out of this video. You don't need them to answer to be whole. You need to answer to your own standards. On Stoic Ether, we train self-respect, discipline, and quiet power. If this helped you stay calm and stop chasing people who ignore you, subscribe and stay close. Drop this in the comments as your ritual reminder. My calm is my weapon. And if you know someone who is quietly tearing themselves apart because they're being ignored, share this video with them. They don't need more noise. They need a reminder of their dignity.